So you really want to write a research paper and get published? And you've been getting ideas too. And you have your dissertation pending as well. Oh my god, a thesis paper is also coming along your way. But you're confused as to how to get your ideas into action. You don't have a mentor to guide you. So here is the video that will answer all your questions related to starting a research paper, a thesis or a dissertation. Let's just get started with it. Hi guys, this is Isha Kapoor and you're watching Vlawgish. If you're watching this video, you already are willing to write something and move ahead with something that you can actually get published under your very name. So you can actually become an author to a written piece of to a piece of writing, which will definitely be really amazing. So what is the first challenge that lies ahead of you? The very first challenge that lies ahead, that always was ahead me, was deciding on a topic. The topic must be such that you'll be able to frame research questions out of those. Also, you must be able to frame theses out of those. A thesis statement is something which can be called as an idea, which can be called as your idea, which is not just hanging in your head, but you have reasons to support your idea, but you have arguments to support your idea, and you have evidence to give support to that idea. For example, if I say that Delhi is the capital of India and I make it my thesis, it won't be a sufficient thesis statement. You know why it won't be sufficient for my research? You know why? The reason is because this thesis statement has no reasons, it has no arguments, it has no counter arguments to support the assertion, to support the thing that I'm saying. I'm saying that Delhi is the capital of India, but how will I make the readers believe that fact through my research paper? So I'll have to take help of some uh, reasons, some arguments. So I can say that Delhi is the capital of India as as one research shows that, as it has been declared so by the President of India, as it is believed so by all the people of India. Okay, do not mind the arguments that I'm making here, but this is just to give you an example. So a proper thesis statement, or even if you are framing an hypothesis for a research paper, a proper hypothesis should be a statement. It should be a complete statement which should represent your claim. So it should tell the readers of your research paper or of your dissertation or of your thesis or of your essay, it should tell them what you are trying to claim through this paper, what you are trying to prove through this paper. So mark my words, every research paper, every dissertation, every thesis, every essay must have a reason behind it, why you're writing it. Think of areas where you have not seen much research happening these days, or maybe where you feel that the literature lacks somewhere, where you feel that the precedents lacks somewhere. Sometimes it happens to us in the law field. If I particularly talk about the law field, if I talk about the law students, then what happens is that sometimes you see that there is a position of law on which a lot of high courts are saying one thing and a lot of high courts are going in a completely different line. So you see that the law is still not settled. I think those are very good areas where you can research upon and where you can build up your views and give your views through that research paper. You know, if you're writing something, people would like to read it only if you have your original thoughts and claims into it, only if it is argumentative and analytical enough. Otherwise it will just be like any other piece of writing containing information on the topic. So unless your only intent is to convey information, to compile a lot of information and to give it, that's another thing. But if you want to write a quality research paper, a quality essay, a quality thesis, or a quality dissertation, you must have an intent in mind, and that intent must be to continue to prove your thesis statement, to continue to prove your hypothesis, to build your chapters in such a way that you are proving your hypothesis or the thesis or the research question in the end. Okay, you are getting at one extreme, or maybe if even if you are in the you are following a middle position, then it should be something which should be a unique thought. See, research is trial and error. So don't worry about being right and being exact at the very first attempt that you're making. That also applies to the exercise of finding topics for your research. Let me give you an example. How I found a topic for my dissertation, for my law school dissertation. What happened was the right to internet and the denial of internet to many people through various orders issued by the authorities and various legislations related to were related to it as well. This area was actually bothering me, so I was reading about it daily in the newspapers, and I was actually very concerned about it. So I what I did was I started reading more on it, and I found out that there is the actual criteria of it being a perfect research paper or a perfect dissertational research topic is being fulfilled there. Number one thing, I found no book directly referring to the topic. So I could find no heavy literature on the topic, no heavy precedents on the topic. Second thing, the position seemed very hazy to me. Nobody was clear about it. Even when I was reading the articles, even when I was reading opinions of different people, of jurists also, they had their own opinions and suggestions, but those were suggestions only until now. So the legislation also which existed, of course, did not give a right, but many precedents said that there existed a right to free internet, and which should be given to the citizens. And some worldwide opinions, some worldwide reports also criticized India on this aspect. You know, if your topic, if the idea that you have in mind seems inconsistent with the recent theories or with the already established theories that you have studied, maybe what you have studied during your college life, during your school life, during your law school, then also it makes a very good topic for being added into a perfect dissertation or a research uh, recipe. So if the position is hazy, if you have no if you don't find a lot of content on it, but compiled together, but it exists here and there, and of course if you have recommendations in mind, then it will be your perfect dissertation or research topic. That's how you choose a topic. When you choose a topic and when you're about to frame the research questions, the hypothesis, the research objectives, or the thesis, do not be too descriptive. Okay, if it's an hypothesis or a thesis statement, make sure that it's not more than 3-4 lines. Okay, in the first 1 or 2 line you state your claim, okay, whatever you are going to assert throughout your paper, throughout your dissertation, and then in the next 1 or 2 line give your arguments, give the reasons as to why you're saying this. At least give at least two reasons. In my opinion, that should make a good paper for you. What I am suggesting is just pick up your syllabus, just pick up your law school syllabus, glance through that. Okay, just see the topics, the first of all see the subjects that you have studied until now, or the subjects that you're going to study further, and shortlist the areas, shortlist the subjects that you like the most. This is what I did. So when you have 2 or 3 subjects, then just continue to shortlist the topics from your syllabus which you think you know properly and you'll be able to write something on. Okay, once your topics and your area is suggested, you can move to the next step. Now the next step number 2, is to find someone who can give you a little guidance on that, who can tell you what the recent position is on that topic, what are the recent judgments, what are the recent incidents that have happened across the world that you can ponder upon to further decide your topic or to further build your research. Now, why step one is important before going to step two is because if you will just randomly call one of your senior who's practicing maybe as an advocate, or if you'll randomly call one of your teachers who's teaching any subject in your law school, then it will not be that fruitful for you. For example, if you call your constitutional law teacher and you just tell him or her that or maybe use any pronoun, and you just tell them that that professor, I want to write on some topic, and I want to get published. They'll say okay, you can, maybe they'll give some suggestions. But then if you'll go to them with a particular area and with a particular topics in and with particular topics in mind, it will be simpler for them to guide you. Time will be saved, and you'll not continue to be in a dilemma as to which subject to write on, what to do. And for example, if you just choose constitutional law or criminal law as your area of research, then you will go to that person only whom you think is dealing with in that area, whom you think is practicing in that area actually, or who has done some work in that area. Only then it will be fruitful for you. Me going to a constitutional law teacher to ask about intellectual property rights related topics and expecting that I get a lot of insights from them would be harsh for them also. So let's just not do that. Let's be very practical and go step by step only. What will be prevented is you'll not get a generic answer from them. Okay, you'll get an answer which is specifically curated for you, because you have put your requirements before them, because you have come to the right person, to the right place, who actually knows what to tell you. One most amazing person that you can go to and we often neglect is your librarian. So the librarian can really help you with what all has been written recently. They'll give you those articles, those journals that have recently come out, and it'll mark my words, it'll help you a lot. Just go through all the keep going through all the journals when you're in the process of deciding your topic, so that what people are writing on, how it is being framed, what are the ideas that are there in the minds of other people. It will also prevent duplicacy of ideas, so your content will be even more original in that case. In this process, you forget one thing. We tend to forget one thing. We do not note down the names of resources that we are referring to. Resources such as the books, the articles, the journals, the e-resources, the books from the libraries. And then later on, when we decide that topic, it's very difficult to come back to the past and find all those resources. That's not going to happen. Even if that happens, it's going to take a lot of time. So it's better that I would suggest, create a folder in your phone, create a folder in any of your scanner app with the name with the name of your research paper, or just name it as research project, and continue to add photos or names of the books you're referring to, of the articles you're referring to, of the latest journals you're reading, of the people you're meeting, and what they are telling. I think acknowledgement also is the most important part of any of the piece of writing that you do, especially for a dissertation. I don't know if anybody gives much weightage to it. It's not for your grades, it's not ever going to be for your grades, but it matters to for me, it really matters to acknowledge those people who actually helped you in framing. Okay, now when your topic is decided, now when you have followed all these steps, I'm sure that your topic will be finally decided. Then you will move to your initial readings. And what will be your initial readings? Those readings that you had come across over the internet. For example, the articles that you must have read in your initial days of deciding a topic. This initial readings list will further contain those readings recommended by your mentor, by the persons you went to. They may suggest you a few books, they may suggest you a few articles to read, they may tell you to go through a few blogs available over the internet. Then these initial readings list will be even more fuller. Now you need to read all these readings, and you need to keep highlighting the important parts here. You have already framed your research questions, you have a hypothesis or a thesis in mind, you have research objectives in mind, and now you have initial readings. Now, if you're still one of those whose topic is not yet final, so you know that you want to write on constitution, you want to write something about fundamental rights, but so you're sure about your area, but you're not very sure about the exact branch that you want to hold on to. So I would suggest now is the time to narrow down your scope for research after going through the initial readings, not before that. So now you have gone through 10-15 initial readings at least. Now you can narrow down the scope of research. Just find out what attracted you the most. To me, the right to free internet, the right to all citizens attracted the most. Therefore, I chose that area out of all this, and you can choose whatever appeals to you. Now, based on your readings, you also need to decide whether you're going to do an empirical study, an empirical research, or a doctrinal research. So if you're planning to conduct interviews, surveys, then just write it in your to-do list and continue to frame the questions that you need to ask in your interviews or surveys, or any way through which you want to conduct an empirical research, through which you want to collect data. Make sure that this data collection is adequate. Make sure that the sample you're collecting is big enough, is adequate enough to study further on on how to do empirical research in a better fashion. If it's doctrinal, if it's based on the readings, if it's based on the research material that you already have and you're not going to conduct any surveys, interviews, etc., then just continue to build up on your readings. When you have one reading in your hand, for example, you have one book, from there you can get thousands and thousands of readings. Or even if you have one article, because that one article will have 80 to 100 footnotes or 80 to 100 references, and you can just take a close look at each of those reference, and you need to read that again on your own, because the writer has read it, the person to whose views you refer to has read it, but not you. So you also need to read it once. So I hope this video will help you decide a research topic for your dissertation, for your research paper, or for any of the piece of writing that you're going to or you're planning to create. I hope this video answered your doubts about finding a proper research topic. एक ऐसा रिसर्च टॉपिक जिसको आगे चल के आप रिग्रेट ना करो, आगे चल के मतलब अपने रिसर्च पेपर बनने के या डिसर्टेशन बनने के प्रोसेस में. एंड if you like this video, if you think this method is good enough, if you think the steps were good enough, if you think this video motivated you to actually bring your thoughts into action and write something, write a piece of writing, then do comment down below. I'll feel very good about it if you will praise anything about this video. Of course, who doesn't like to be praised? And thank you for watching this video. I'll be back another day with another topic very soon.